Southampton versus Arsenal in the FA Cup quarterfinals. Football and Arsenal is back, and I've missed it. I'm pretty sure you have, but it's an important game. Yes, obviously the last time Arsenal played, we lost the Carabao Cup final. We don't play a Premier League game till next week, and before that we have the game against Southampton in the FA Cup, the Sporting Lisbon first leg away in the Champions League. But I think, given the fact that there's always this noise and media nonsense around Arsenal, constantly pressure, which is always going to happen. And if Arsenal was to lose this game or not go through in this, or was to lose this game and get knocked out of the FA Cup, it puts a bit more pressure. There's a bit more noise following the back of how we've been playing, or how we played in that final, and how we've been playing in the weeks leading up to that final. The fact that there's been a break, and what does that mean in terms of reset? The noise that's been made in terms of us pulling out our players supposedly and them not getting injuries. And I know we probably will play a rotated squad, and I'll get to that when I do my predicted lineup. But it's just more in terms of, how do you want to start this final stretch of the season? Obviously, the Premier League is the bread and butter, and as I said, we need to make sure that we win that and secure that, and it is the priority. And you can say the FA Cup is the third least priority. I don't think the season is over. I don't think momentum should be gone, even if he was to get knocked out. But I think it's also about establishing how you want to go. And I think before the Premier League game, you want to go through against Southampton, book another place at Wembley. Ground that we lost just recently at Man City, so I'm saying potentially might be City again or another team before the final. But opportunity to right the wrongs and get to another semi-final and potentially get to a final. And then obviously you go into the Sporting game with some momentum, some confidence, obviously, to try and maybe potentially get an advantage. And as I said many a time, we might not even win that Sporting game. We might even lose, we might draw, we might not even play that well. But at that first, there's always the second leg where there's jeopardy. So it's not like the season is hanging on this game. It's not like, even if it was to lose to Southampton, and even if it was to not get maximum points, or not get a win against Sporting on the first leg, that we can't still come back in that leg, and that will affect the Premier League. But it's about momentum. It's about what we want to see. It's about what does that reset do, because it has been a reset, it has been a pause, and a much needed pause. As I said, November to March, we've been full on Arsenal, full on club football, so there was a pause, and it happened happened right after we lost the game in the final. But at the same time, it's given us some much needed rest, probably rest for some players that have been going through injuries, and we've seen a lot of our players been pulling out, and obviously just to reset and reanalyze some of the problems, some of the staleness in terms of the football, obviously, and what can we do to rectify that. And in this game against Southampton, it won't be an easy game. I watched the game against Fulham. They played on the transition. They had a lot of good chances that they should have scored from to win that game probably earlier, and they'll probably approach the game similar. I know they're at home. They're like one of those championship premiership teams, almost a premiership team. They have a good squad. I think in the playoffs right now, they've won 5 out of their last 6 games, if I'm correct, if I'm reading the stats correctly. So it's not like they're not going to be feeling confident. Obviously the break as well has come for them, so it's not like they're coming straight from that momentum, but they will be feeling confident. They want to potentially get an outing at Wembley to maybe couple with the playoff outing. They might have a Wembley as well if they get into the playoffs. So there's a lot of things at stake in this game, and I think Arsenal will play a rotated squad, and they should, because obviously we need to rest players. It isn't the most priority, but we also, if a lot of players are coming back from knocks and stuff, we've got to prioritise who's the best to play in this game. And Southampton being less opposition in the lower league, we should be able to rotate and still have enough to win, and we should still have enough to win well. I would take any type of win, penalties, close win, 1-0, 2-1, whatever, but I think we have enough to kind of win well, man. I think Arsenal, obviously there's not going to be too much emphasis on how the football's going to play, because we have a rotated squad. So I just want to see some good attacking play from players, some risk taking, some players taking their chances, some chance creation from the midfield, and then obviously the players that are playing in defence, and especially Kepa, who I will start in this game. I will just say that from early. I think I just want to see a better, more solid performance, keeping, not conceding any chances or making any mistakes. Like Mansfield, we saw that. The Portsmouth game, we saw that. So I don't want to see that type of goal given, in my opinion. Obviously, we want to try and win this game. But just go to the lineups quickly before I talk about obviously what I want to see. I'm going to start with Kepa in goal, as I said. Right back, I'll go with Ben White. I'll go centre back pairing of Mosquera and Calafiori. Yes, Calafiori. I will go with Lewis Skelly left back, but I do want him to invert. Midfield 3, I'll go with Norgard, Odegaard and Havertz. on the right, Dowman, on the left, Martinelli, and up front, Jesus is the team I would go with. And that means obviously not risking Saka, not risking Rice. Obviously, Nketiah, if he has a knock, but potentially, obviously, don't want to risk it for this game. Calafiori, you know he's going to be off the back of that loss. Obviously, Italy not going to the World Cup, but we need him to play in this game. And Odegaard a start to get some good minutes to go into this run, because he's going to be important. You know, Odegaard getting minutes this game, maybe 60 minutes, then obviously can get started at Sporting and then be ready for that Bournemouth game. Because Eze is injured and we're going to need Odegaard, and we've missed Odegaard. The control he brings, the control he brings, the ability to let us want to receive it from the keeper, to rotate and, you know, allow us to build up better. Then obviously at least pin teams well, you know, that right hand side functioning cleanly as well, with Odegaard playing. So and Ben White potentially playing as well. So I'm intrigued to see that team and see how we do. And then obviously hopefully we can book our place into the quarterfinals. But however we do it, because it's going to be a rotated team. First game after the international break, a lot of rotated players, probably players playing a certain amount of minutes, and you've got to make sure that we're ready for that first leg and the Bournemouth game. My predictions for this game, I'm going to go 2-0. No, I'm going to go 3-1 to the Arsenal. I think we probably do concede in this game, but I think we have enough to score a lot of goals. I think Dam will have a big game. I think Jesus, I want him to have a big performance. He hasn't really shined any trees in the last couple of performances, and I think Odegaard can get there, dictate stuff, and Lewis Skelly jump in and play similar to how he played in that under 21s game against Moldova, which was excellent. He got 2 assists, or 1 assist, but obviously he was excellent all game, inverted from that left back. We miss him. I want him to play, and let's see. And then we get ready for that game. But huge game in terms of just trying to make sure we keep momentum and keep calm, and then we move, man. So let me know what you guys think about the lineup. Let me know, guys, what your score predictions will be. Let me know how you're feeling. Are you happy for Arsenal to be back? And I'll see you guys on the watch along, man. Hit the subscribe button, like this video.